future generations, and I think we're good to start if you guys are good. So my name is Elizabeth, and I'm going to introduce Leah in a second, and then she will introduce Mitch. But I'm sure you can see us all on your screen. So we are here tonight, very excited to talk about going to Japan. So Japan is a
Woo!
huge destination right now, and I personally have not yet been. And so I was like, why don't I go and bring all of my friends? And Leah was like, I would like to go too. And so she's bringing all of her friends, and we're just going to make a big party out of it. So, but we want to tell you a little bit about the cruise that we've selected and why we selected it, and we'll introduce Mitch, who is going to be our subject matter expert. I do want to let everyone know that we are recording this. I did say that already. If you have questions, we don't have so many people that I can monitor the chat as well, but if you put them in the Q&A box, that'll make my life a little bit easier as well. So, introducing Leah.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited about going to Japan. I think that, like all of our good decisions, this was kind of decided over cocktails or wine while we were on an Azamara cruise. So, these are like the best laid ideas. I am heading out on an Azamara cruise next Tuesday in Auckland, New Zealand. So, I've sailed them a ton, and as has Elizabeth. And so we love them as partners, and we love having Mitch Platt, our tried and true Nexion focused Azamara rep, and he is going to tell you about this itinerary because he has done a similar one and give you all sorts of details on questions that you might have. So yeah, please use the chat, the Q&A to ask any questions you might have. And Mitch, thank you for taking time and take it away.
Already. So thank you so much. I'm thrilled to share with you um, Azamara Cruises and about this specific itinerary to Japan. But before we go into the details of the itinerary, I want to give our guests overview, a little bit background about Azamara Cruises. And give me 1 second here. Let me play this short video. Imagine arriving closer, feeling closer, discovering more. On a journey where every destination feels just within reach, where every shared table sparks connection and every gathering tells its own story. Find calm amidst new adventures, and comfort in familiar faces that make you feel at home wherever you go. In every flavor, in every sound, the essence of a place comes alive. With more late nights and overnights than any other cruise line, you'll see destinations when they're most alive, unhurried, authentic, yours to explore. Because when travel feels personal, every horizon feels closer. Welcome to Asamara, where you're always a little closer to the world. Alrighty, so I hope they gave you a little bit of taste of Azamara, but really what makes us unique and different is what we call destination immersion. And that simply means that we have carefully crafted these incredible itineraries, focusing on the ports of call, focusing on the destinations. And the number one reason people actually choose a specific cruise is because of the destinations. And we own that space. We actually have trademarked the term destination immersion. But the proof is really in the pudding. When you start to look at our itineraries, what you're going to find is more ports of call, more time in port, coupled with more overnights and more late night stays. And so many of these beautiful destinations around the world really transform from daytime to nighttime. And if you go back into a destination after the sun sets, many of these places come alive and give you a whole different perspective. Many times it's the sounds, the lights, the music, the pedestrians, everything, and it becomes illuminated. So you're going to be able to experience these wonderful places not only during daylight hours, but quite often after dark. Because our ships are smaller, all of our ships are identical for the most part. They're 30,000 tons. That equates to approximately 700 guests and 408 crew members. But because we're smaller, the key takeaways are 65% of the places that we go to, big ships cannot go there because they cannot fit. So this opens up so many more incredible destinations around the world that typically would be overlooked by traditional cruising. And then moreover, out of all the days we are sailing, over 50% of those days will actually feature either a late night stay or an overnight stay. And we define the late night stay as 8 p.m. or later. I do love this slide because this really kind of compares us to our competition. And when you start to scrutinize this a little bit closer, we are definitely surpassing our competition by heads and tails. The last column, percentage of late nights and overnights, you can see here last year it was 50%. And in 2026, it's actually 51%. And I can assure you, if you put our itinerary side by side anybody else's, you're going to find more ports of call, more port intensity, and more time in port, coupled with the overnights and the late night stays. So let me pose this question to you all. Would you like to spend more time in port? And if the answer is yes, then I hope you will take a serious consideration for Azamara Cruises. We're also really a great value. We include gratuities. We include your beverages. And by beverages, standard hard spirits are included. And my friends, that is anytime the bars are open. So theoretically, you can start your day with a Bloody Mary if you so choose. Again, I'm no judgment here. We also offer complimentary wines by the glass, a selection of beer, bottled water is included, soft drinks are included, and your specialty coffees, your cappuccinos and lattes are included. So you really don't have that nickel and diming. In addition to that, we also include what we call our Oz Amazing Evening event. And that is more than a short excursion. It is an authentic cultural event at one of the destinations we overnight in, or we have a late night departure. And it's something very unique and very special that is only available to the guests on the Azamara cruise. So if you're a John Q tourist that happens to be at that destination, you would not be able to experience this Oz Amazing Evening event. It's not offered to the general public. We also include what we call, we also include complimentary self-service laundry. And I do want to call this out because the sailing that we're looking at here is a 2-week cruise. So as a result, you can do your own laundry on board. You don't have to pack another suitcase and incur the additional baggage fees. Even the soap is included. And then lastly, and one of the very nice benefits that we do offer is complimentary shuttle from where we dock to the center of town. Now, 9 times out of 10, we're either going to dock right in the heart of town or we are going to tender our customers right into the heart of town. On occasion, the port may be a few miles from town. And if that is the case, we do offer a complimentary shuttle that typically will run every 30 minutes. And that's a nice benefit because you don't have to hire a taxi or take public transportation, and it brings you right to the heart of the destinations. This is just one of our beautiful examples of an As Amazing Evening event. It is, again, more than a shore excursion. Now, this event, this photograph was actually taken in Ephesus. And what we do when we execute the Oz Amazing Evening events, our guests will have typically an early dinner on the ship. They'll get off the ship, and then we'll have motor coaches waiting for all 700 guests. And in this case, we'll take the 15, 20-minute motor coach ride over to Ephesus. Ephesus is closed to the public at night. So we come out, unlock the gates for our for our Azamar guests, and they're greeted with beverages and hors d'oeuvres, and they're able to meander through Ephesus at night without contending with thousands of other tourists. And because each of our sailings are unique and different, each sailing will have its own unique Oz Amazing Evening event. And on the Japan cruise I did last year, it was actually in Busan, South Korea, and absolutely just an exceptional experience. I'll touch a little bit further about it during the presentation. The other marquee event we do on every cruise is our white night party, and this is not to be missed. So hopefully you're going to be sailing with Leah and Elizabeth, and don't forget to pack a white outfit, because what we do is we take away all the deck furniture, we set up tables and chairs, and we dress everything out in white, and we encourage all of our guests to wear white. Our officers, oh, I'm sorry, we actually set up an incredible buffet. We serve lobster tail, rack of lamb, sushi, crepe Suzette, and our officers actually serve the food. So it's a lot of fun, very interactive. And then our singers, our dancers, our band perform, and it turns into a beautiful deck party with people dancing under the stars. Absolutely not to be missed. So, for those of you who've not been on our ships, I'm going to walk you through just very quickly a few of our interior slides. This is the grand staircase. That really is the heart of the ship itself. And when you walk on our ship, what is really striking, you feel like you're walking into a luxurious boutique hotel. The decor is very light, very contemporary, and very organic. And the way these ships were built is 90% of our rooms are exterior facing, and approximately 90% of those have balconies. So our most common staterooms are going to be the verandas. There are 175 square feet of interior space with a 40 square foot balcony. And when you move up to our suite categories, and we have some wonderful suite accommodations, this is our world's owner suite. Our guests are going to get even more inclusions. And with our top, with all of our suites, they're going to get complimentary specialty dining. Otherwise, it is a $50 per person surcharge. And that is one, in my personal opinion, one of the best benefits for our suite guests. And they also will get their own personal English style butler who will truly spoil you. We have two beautiful spa suites on each of our vessels. They're located in a private corridor adjacent to the spa. And they have these beautiful spa bathrooms with a walk-in rain shower, a soaking tub, and beautiful accommodations. And then our continent suites are really our entry level suites. They're 266 square feet of interior space with a 60 square foot balcony. When you go into the Club Continent suites, our guests are going to get the English style butler, and they're going to also get the complimentary unlimited specialty dining. Now, beginning April, we're actually amping up our inclusions for our top tiered suites. They're going to get the ultimate liquor package. Now, remember, standard hard spirits are included, but with the ultimate, that opens up everything. So if there's uh, aperitifs that you would like, it's going to be available to you. We're also giving our top tiered suites unlimited Wi-Fi, 2 devices per guest, and then unlimited wash and fold laundry, which is really nice. So you don't have to do laundry in the laundry room. You can just send it out, put it in a bag and send it out, and your butler will have it ready for you the following day. And then also our top tier suites are going to be invited to our exclusive Akamar dining experience. And this is like a chef's table only for our top tiered suite guests with our high ranking officers. So it's something not to be missed. Those who go into our continent suites, they're going to be getting unlimited Wi-Fi, 1 device per guest. And then additionally, they're going to get expanded wash and fold laundry. And then all of our suites, again, will get specialty dining complimentary. They're going to have access to our thalassotherapy pool, which is this oversized hot tub and a private deck beyond the spa area as well. Now, dining at Azamara, the food is really exceptional. Our main dining room, Discoveries, is open for breakfast and dinner, and the cuisine is absolutely incredible. Um, Discoveries is also open seating, so you can eat when you want and with whom you want. And it is country club casual attire, no formal nights, no dress up required. And then we have some incredible casual dining venues, including Windows, which is our buffet on deck. Windows is typically open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I just want to stress this, and hopefully you're going to be going on this cruise. I encourage you to try Windows. Again, our buffet on deck for dinner. Every night we have a different themed dinner. So one night it may be Italian, the next night it may be Indian, the next night it may be Greek. It is really quite remarkable. And then we have a beautiful outdoor seating area in the back of Windows. So if the weather is nice, you can take your food, dine al fresco overlooking the city lights of Nagasaki if we happen to be there and the weather is cooperating. We also have the patio, which is open for lunch and dinner. That is a grill for lunch with an expanded salad bar. But for dinner, we dress it up. We put out the tablecloths. We have an expanded dinner menu. and we have tableside service. And then we have Mosaic Cafe where you can get your cappuccinos, your lattes, and we have snacks throughout the course of the day, morning, noon, and night as well. So if you get that midnight, like late night Scooby snack, this is where you can go to get that. But in addition to that, we also have complimentary 24-hour room service. We have two specialty dining restaurants, Aquilina Italian Prime C Steakhouse. Those are reservations only. If you're in a suite, it is complimentary. Otherwise, it is a $50 per person surcharge. However, we do offer packages. So you can take advantage of our Experience More packages that will include several options for specialty dining. Typically, on the packages, you're going to get 2 or 3 nights of specialty dining included. And then we also have specialty dining packages. So you basically can get 3 specialty dinings for the price of a little bit over two. So it really becomes a very good value. We do have the ability to pre-reserve, but we do hold back some spots for people when they get on the ship. So if you do not get if you end up sailing with us and you don't get your preferred time in advance, don't fret because we hold back approximately 20% of the slots for people to book on board. So as long as you book at the day of embarkation, you should be good. And then for a ship our size, we really have great entertainment. We have our own singers and dancers. We have our own production shows. If we don't have a production show going on, we'll have a guest performer, um, or we'll have the Oz Amazing Evening or the Wait Night Party. But here is where we differ because quite often we're in port at night. And if you're like me and we're in port at night, I'm going to be off the ship really enjoying the wonderful destination after dark. So my point is you don't have to be as reliant as you would on traditional cruising with the programming in the evening on the ship. And then for all the incredible food you're going to be consuming and the free-flowing cocktails, you can burn off all these calories in our full-service spa and fitness center. And we have all the spa treatments you can imagine as well are available to you in this area. We were back in 2017. We were the first cruise line to introduce country intensive voyages, and this Japan one is a perfect example of a country intensive voyage. But before I go into the Japan cruise, I just want to share with you uh, one that really is quite indicative of Azamar cruises, and this is one of our Spain intensive cruises. I realize we're not doing Spain, but I just want to share with you so you have a greater understanding of what makes Azamara unique and special. On this sailing, which goes from Lisbon, Portugal to Barcelona, for many people, the highlight of the cruise is when we go to Seville. And people don't realize that Seville is not on the ocean, it's actually inland. But because our ship is smaller, we can actually sail 60 miles up the Guadalquivir River, and we dock right in the heart of Seville, a 5-minute walk from this building in the background, which is the Plaza de España, and a 15-minute walk from the cathedral in the historic Santa Cruz neighborhood. Moreover, we overnight in Seville. So you basically have 2 full days to enjoy Seville, which gives you plenty of time to experience this really breathtaking city. And if you so choose, plenty of time to go explore the other historic Andalusian city, Cordoba, which is around an hour and a half away. Now, other cruise ships are going to be down where it's circled, Cadiz, which is on the Atlantic Ocean. From Cadiz to Seville, if you're doing a tour on a motor coach, is approximately 1 hour, 40 minutes each way. So over 3 hours of your day are going to be spent on a bus, and then maybe you'll have 4 or 5 hours in Seville. This is really one of the elements that really sets us apart when we create our itineraries. And then I'm just going to share this quick video with you. It just shows the ship sailing up the Guadalquivir River. It takes us around 5 to 6 hours. Again, we're not a river cruise line, but because of the size of our vessel, we're able to go to ports of call that are unreachable on the larger cruise ships. So let's take a deeper dive into this incredible departure, April 22nd of next year from Tokyo to Kobe. Japan, number one, is a country of islands. So it's inherently very conducive to cruising. Additionally, if you do Japan by land, it really can be very expensive for lodging and also for transportation. So really, cruising becomes a really wonderful value. And then when you get outside of the main cities, it's you're not going to have as much English spoken as you would in the larger cities. So as a result, you're going to see the lettering and you're not going to see our lettering. You're going to see the squiggly lines. So you're going to have the comfort and the security of being on an Azamar cruise, along with hopefully doing our escorted tours throughout the course of the cruise. It is a very port intensive itinerary. And when you look at it, you only have one day at sea, but it is one of the most remarkable experiences I have ever done. I did my cruise last April around the same time as this cruise. However, we did it a little bit different itinerary and reverse order. We began in Kobe and we disembarked in Tokyo. So let's take a deeper dive into this. But I do want to point out, if you can see over on the far right-hand side, this is where it's going to be 10 or more hours in port. So this is what we call extended destination days when we're in port at least 10 or more hours. And then again, every port that we're going to be there at least 8 p.m. or later, we consider a late night departure. And on top of that, you do have at the tail end of the cruise a remarkable overnight in Kobe, which I will touch on, which is absolutely probably one of the best destinations you can imagine. So let's take a deeper dive, and I'm going to be sharing with you not every single port, but the ports of call that I actually did. And I believe almost all the photographs in the presentation are actually my personal photographs that I took on my phone. But I do want to point this out. This is going to be cherry blossom season. And you can see here, when you get up north, it's going to be more prevalent. Now, with that being said, let me go back here. You're going to be going to Aomori on April 25. Okay, I just want to make sure I had that right. And Aomori, this is my photographs of Aomori May 1st of last year. So the cherry blossoms were still out. It was the tail end, so you can see them on the ground. But you're going to be there a week prior to when I was there. So you really are going to hit the cherry blossoms when you get up north. And the one thing that's so striking when you go to Japan, you're going to be seeing lots of incredible temples, castles, and gardens. And the historical aspect of Japan is absolutely incredible. If you're going to do this trip, before you do this trip, I encourage you to watch on Hulu the TV series Shogun, the remake of Shogun. It will give you such a wonderful appreciation for this incredible culture. And if you have not, and again, I commit to watching it. It really is a great series to begin with. It won some Emmys. You aren't going to be bored, but it's going to give you, and it's based on a true story. So that's also one of the remarkable things. So you're going to begin this going up north. You're doing the reverse order from what I did. Again, I caught Aomori on May 1st. You're going to be there April 25. So I can guarantee you cherry blossoms are going to be in full thrall when you go to Aomori. And one of the things that I highly recommend is you go to the Hirosaki Castle and Park, and you can actually see just some great views of Mount Fuji from on top where the castle is. So absolutely not to be missed. This is Busan, South Korea was actually one of the surprise ports of call for me. I've never been to South Korea. Busan was absolutely amazing. And again, this is where we had our amazing evening. But because of weather, we actually had the entertainment brought on the ship. And it was really quite incredible. I call it the Karate Kids. It was basically kids doing this karate performance set to music and dance and choreographed, and absolutely incredible, very, very impressive. Now, the center photograph I do want to share with you, I took this from the ship. This is after the amazing evening on board. This is drones in the sky. It's like a fireworks performance, but with drones, unlike anything I've ever seen and very choreographed. Absolutely stunning. I really encourage you to explore Busan. And it's like after going there, it's one of the places that I definitely want to go back. I want to go back and see more of South Korea. I did a city tour. This is a place that we do offer the complimentary shuttle to the center of town. It is, and if you just want to walk around in the center of town, you can go to the markets, which are really like unlike anything I've ever seen, and especially the fish markets. You could go to this peninsula with this, I guess, walking platform with wonderful views. And again, really incredible. The one thing I do want to state about South Korea, when I was there and my tour, and I was with a female friend of mine, the skin care creams and lotions and stuff, I guess it's supposed to be, they're like so advanced. I did not know this prior to going there, but that's another thing. If you want to purchase those type of skincare items, this is the place to do it, very reasonably priced as well. So just wanted to throw that out there. And let me just share with you, this is another port that I also went to, Kita Kyushu. And one thing about Kita-Kyushu, this is where this is really kind of weird, but I actually did the Toto Museum tour. Now, when you go to Japan, and hopefully you're going to go in early and you're going to stay at a hotel in Tokyo before you get on the ship, the one thing, no matter what hotel you're going to be at, their toilets are like out of this world. It's like there's an instruction manual that's actually next to the commode in your bathroom in your hotel room with instructions on how to use it. Well, Toto is the iconic toilet manufacturer. It's actually their headquarters and their factory is actually located here in Kitakyushu. So we did the tour of the Toto factory. Don't laugh, kind of bizarre, I know, but very unique and very special to Japan. And you'll appreciate this after once you go to Japan. And then we also did the Mount Sarakura cable car, which just took us up to the top of the mountain with some beautiful views. These gardens are the wisteria gardens here are unsurpassed, absolutely incredible. And this is absolutely not to be missed. So if you're into gardens, this is a wonderful place to definitely take advantage of the wisteria. Absolutely beautiful. This is by far my most one of the highlights of my cruise. Now, on the itinerary I did, we did not go to Nagasaki, but we did go to Hiroshima. And as you can see, the iconic images from the aftermath of the atomic bomb. The museum in Hiroshima was probably, I would rank it as one of the top five museums I've ever been to in the world. It's really well done, very emotional, and just an incredible, incredible experience. So I definitely encourage you to take advantage and go to the museum. If you do nothing else, do the museum. My tour that I did combined actually the museum, and then also we went to the island of Miyajima, which is off the coast of Hiroshima, which I highly recommend as well. And Miyajima, you can see the photographs. And again, I took all these photographs. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, and upper right-hand corner are the photographs from Miyajima. It is really quite stunning. The one thing about Miyajima that really is, you have to take a ferry over there. It takes around, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Um, no big deal, but it's absolutely just breathtaking when you can see here and you can see the Shinto shrines. But the deer on Miyajima are unlike any other deer I've ever seen in my life. You typically think of deer and being skittish and afraid of people. These deer will come right up to you. And if you have a beverage or if you have food, you have to hold onto it for dear life because they will come and they will start like, if you put your drink down, they're going to come and start drinking from your drink. I kid you not. If you have food, they're going to come over and start try to eat your food. They're actually a little bit like aggressive when it comes to that, but they're not afraid of people. And that was the other stunning thing that I really found in Myanmar. And again, we're there from 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
Mitch, you can't tell Elizabeth that. She already doesn't like monkeys.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh dear.
It's okay.
Okay. Now, at the tail end of your cruise, you're going to be going to Kobe. And Kobe is adjacent to Kyoto and Osaka. It's like one big metropolis. From Kobe to Kyoto, 50 minutes, I would say 50 each way, more or less. And there's a bullet train as well that you can do that will take you to Kyoto. But Kyoto has such an incredible history. There is so much to see and do in Kyoto. And I would definitely encourage you because you do overnight. You arrive at 8 a.m. on Wednesday and then you overnight and then you disembark the following day. This is the place that I would definitely recommend that you extend and you spend at least 1 or 2 additional nights in either I would say Kyoto or Osaka or Kobe. They're adjacent to each other. The international airport is in Osaka. From Osaka, you can fly nonstop back to the States. You could fly out of Kobe. Do have an airport there, but you will have to connect typically in Tokyo, either Narita or Haneda, and then fly back to the States if you do that. But I definitely encourage you to extend. So the photographs that I took here in the right-hand corner is going to be the bamboo gardens, which is absolutely breathtaking. And I tried to get a photograph where it wasn't inundated with people. I was able successful to get that. Bottom left-hand corner is the Golden Pavilion, which is again very stunning. And there was a model of a geisha girl, and people go there, and this is the one thing that you can do is you can actually dress up, and they have places that will rent you these costumes, and you can wear them for like an hour or two, walk around. But I just so you know, the footwear are these like wooden sandals, like clogs type of thing. They don't look too comfortable, but a lot of people, a lot of Westerners dressed up and did for taking photographs. Um, there is a lot to be seen here in Kyoto, and you definitely will not be disappointed. There is also the kimono forest. And so these old kimonos, and they're very ornate. They're put into these acrylic cylinders and these tubes that stand out, and it's almost kind of like walking through the bamboo forest, but it's the kimono forest as well. That's something that I also recommend seeing when you're there. It's just very unusual, very cool. So the one thing I do want to stress, I used to go to Japan in my old job back in the 90s, and it was a 1 week trip, and it was Tokyo and Osaka. And back in the 90s, it was insanely expensive for food. It was the exchange rate. When I went back last year for food, I found it to be extremely reasonable. So that's just something I do want to stress. And in Kyoto, we had a private guide. And so it was my friend and I and our private guide, and we went out for lunch and we did a typical sushi lunch. And I'm talking where it's a conveyor belt that comes through, and there's 2 conveyor belts, one that just goes slowly around and you take whatever dishes you want off. And then you can order, there's a tablet there at your table, and you order, there's no waiter or waitress. You order on the tablet. And then what you order is on the conveyor belt on the bottom that comes very fast and then stops at your table. And how do they know how much to charge you? Because you deposit your plates in a slot, and there's on the plates, it's digitally embedded what the dish was. So it's really quite remarkable. So there were 3 of us, and for our lunch, it was under $40. And I kid you not, with the exchange rate. So I just want to point that out. The Exchange rate is actually very beneficial for Americans right now in Japan. And I definitely encourage you to go and explore the incredible cuisine off the ship while you're in port. And again, out of your 14 night cruise, you have 13 days that you're going to be in port. So definitely take advantage of that as well. Um, Let me stop sharing and see if anybody had any questions that perhaps I can answer.
We did have one question about you mentioned the suite inclusions start the change starts April 1st. Will
Mhm.
that apply even if they book before April 1st, if they book into a suite?
Well, it's April 1st of this year.
Right. So, but if they were to book tomorrow,
Yeah, no, that's for sailings, April
okay, it's
1st.
for
Yeah,
sailings.
yeah, for
Perfect. Thank
departure.
you.
Exactly. Yeah. So anything for next year, it's going to be all these additional inclusions are going to be there. Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you. I
Okay,
think
who
that
wants to go? Show of hands.
Definitely.
I
I
want to
think,
I want to go back just to sail with you two because you guys are too much
you
fun.
should. You
yeah,
should.
we bring the party.
Hmm. For sure. And we are talking about both pre and post extensions. So if anybody wanted to do that, whether it's with us or on your own, we can help
Right.
you arrange that as well. So
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a plan for that. I wanted to piggyback on you bringing up food, because one of the great things about going to these destinations is the international cuisine that you want to try. But one of the beautiful things about cruising is that for those people that might be not as adventurous, the ship is there serving all of your comforts that you may need, and so that gives it a really nice balance, to be able to be adventurous. But, maybe if you weren't satiated or were a little too scared, you can bop back over to the ship and there's always food and there's room service.
I'm going to just also point out one other thing that was I did not know until I was there. 7-Elevens.
Oh, they're amazing.
7-Elevens in Japan are not like your typical 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven in Japan is completely different. This is where you go to take out Japanese yen. Do not do it like at an airport ATM. Do it at a 7-Eleven. That's where you're going to get the best exchange rate. And you can get everything there. It's not like the 7-Elevens here. So I just want to throw that out there because
I
that was,
bought really great makeup at a Thailand 7-Eleven. So yeah, it's very different. I love the lipstick I got there.
well, and I wanted to also go back to talking about this ship because if you have not sailed on a smaller ship before, you may be thinking, well, why would you do a cruise in Japan? And Mitch, you touched on this a little bit, but um, going over land becomes much more complicated to see all of these places in Japan, whereas with the ship, you can unpack once and enjoy each of those cities fully without having to deal with the transportation between each. The ship is just going to magically move you from one to the next, and so I feel like we're going to see a lot more. And as someone who plans trips to Japan all the time, I think I can say that, even having not been there myself, I could say that with authority that we will see a lot more in 2 weeks than you would normally be able to see without really wearing yourself out.
I
totally agree.
agree. Yeah. And that laundry room, that's a hopping place.
You meet some of the funnest people there. You
Hmm.
Yes,
just
you
never
do.
know.
Yep. Does anybody else have any other questions? The Q&A is open. All right.
So
Well,
just to give you a little bit of details, it is a $550 per person deposit, to secure your space on the ship unless you go to a suite category, and then it is $1,100 per person. It's pretty low risk. I think there's a $150 cancellation fee per person up until final payment. So, it's like I said, it's pretty no risk, and these cruises, especially with cherry blossom season, they sell out well in advance. So I suggest that you book now while there is still a good amount of choice. Um, and you get to pick where your room is and all of that and know that you're going because I promise you if you wait, you're going to be sorry.
For sure.
And airlift is actually pretty darn good to get there
Hmm.
and very reasonably priced. And
Yep.
it's surprisingly, I find like Europe is during peak is extremely expensive. Japan's completely different. It's a whole different ball game. It's much more reasonable. And if you want to fly like premium economy or even business class, it's a lot more affordable.
Comparatively, since I'm about to go to Australia and New Zealand, like the price differential for business class and premium was huge to Asia versus Australia and New Zealand. So I totally support that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
um,
Well, we will reach out to everyone who was on the call, but also if you want to reach out to us first, the race is
yeah,
on.
please.
We'd love to talk to you. And Mitch, thank you so much for joining us for this. It's so great to get that firsthand knowledge, and I do hope you can join us as well. Just
And
Oh,
as
there's
and
one more
it,
question.
okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It looked like can you talk about some of the excursions?
Oh,
I feel like you did that. Maybe that came out um before the
there's always such a variety of excursions that you can do at each of the ports of call. And based upon your activity level as well. Again, this is a very port intensive cruise, so there's going to be lots of options that are available. But if you want like a day off, you can pick one of the destinations that maybe there's not something that really interests you, and just hang out on the ship and sleep in, and just do a spa day, for that matter. So lots of options available.
but I have found that there's a wide variety of options, so that you really should be able to you know, find something.
And as they say in Japanese, I'm going to give you a Japanese lesson
oh boy.
because you
Uh-oh.
said you were thanking me. So I was going to say you're welcome in Japanese, which is don't touch my
Yeah.
mustache. Don't touch my mustache. Don't touch my mustache. And that's how you remember it. Don't touch my mustache.
My
Oh,
mom taught me that, so that's how old that joke is. Appreciate you, Mitch.
yep. Thank you so much
I'm
for
missing mine. So there you go.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.